All right, welcome everyone. Today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to learn about an algorithm, we are putting one on trial. We're going to take a really simple sorting method, put it right under the microscope, and see how it holds up under pressure. So let's bring in the defendant.
So have you ever wondered how computers turn absolute chaos into order? I mean, it's one of the most fundamental things they do, right? From your social media feed to your search results, computers are constantly taking this jumbled up data and making sense of it. And the secret to this little magic trick? Well, it's a set of instructions we call a sorting algorithm.
Okay, to really get what's going on here, let's start with something we've all done. Picture this. You're dealt a messy hand of playing cards. What do? Instinctively, you pick up one card at a time and you slide it into its correct place, right? That's super simple, very human action. That is the core of the problem we're looking at today.
And that little card trick? Well, that brings us right to our algorithm on trial, insertion sort. And you know what? It's called that because it works almost exactly like you do with those cards. There's no complex logic, nothing fancy. It just uses a really straightforward, intuitive approach to create order out of chaos.
So here's the game plan. The algorithm basically keeps a sorted section of the list growing on the left-hand side. It then grabs the next unsorted item and inserts it into the perfect spot within that already sorted part. And it just keeps doing that over and over, growing that sorted section one item at a time until, boom, everything's in order.
Okay, let's actually watch this thing work. We've got the list 8, 2, 4, 1. First up, the number 8. Well, a list with only one item is by definition sorted, so that's easy. Next, we pick up the 2. Is it smaller than 8? Yep, so we slide it to the front. Our sorted hand is now 2, 8. Then we grab the 4, we scan our sorted hand, and yep, it goes right between the 2 and the 8. Finally, we take the 1, see it's the smallest of all, and it goes right at the very beginning. And there you have it, 1, 2, 4, 8. Pretty simple, right?
Okay, so the algorithm works. The testimony is crystal clear. It gets the job done. But here's the thing. In the world of computer science, just working isn't enough to win the case. The real evidence, the thing that separates a great algorithm from a total liability, is performance. So, how fast is it really?
Right. So this is the crucial point. We know it sorts stuff, but the real question is, how efficiently does it do it? And maybe even more important, does its speed change depending on the kind of data we throw at it? As we're about to see, the answer to that question has some pretty huge consequences.
So to build our case, we basically have to analyze an algorithm under 3 different conditions. First, you have the best case. This is like its dream scenario, the easiest possible job it could ever get. Then there's the average case, which is, what you'd expect on a typical day. But the most critical piece of evidence, the one we really care about, is the worst case. This is the ultimate stress test. Its performance here gives us a guarantee we can rely on no matter what.
All right, it's time to cross-examine insertion sort. We're going to present it with 2 totally different sets of evidence, its best day in court and its absolute worst day, to see how its story holds up.
So what's the best possible input for insertion sort? It's a list that's already perfectly sorted. I mean, think about it. For each number, the algorithm just has to glance at the one before it, confirm, yep, everything's in order, and then move on. It barely breaks a sweat. It's basically just doing a victory lap.
And the performance totally reflects this. We call this linear time. What that means is, as the list gets bigger, the time it takes to sort grows in this really steady, predictable line. If you double the size of the list, you pretty much double the time it takes. And in the world of algorithms, that is very, very fast.
But now for the prosecution's star witness, a list that's sorted in perfect reverse order. This is insertion sort's absolute nightmare. And why? Because for every single number it picks up, it has to shift it all the way to the beginning of the list, moving every other element out of the way as it goes. It's the maximum amount of work possible.
Okay, now take a look at this table, because this is where the algorithm's testimony really starts to fall apart. See those rows for the while loop? That's where all the heavy lifting happens. In the worst case, this loop has to run over and over and over again for each item, just shifting everything one by one. And look at that times executed column. The number of operations isn't just growing with n, the size of the list, it's growing by something closer to n squared. And that, my friends, is where the trouble begins.
Okay, don't panic when you see this formula. Seriously, you do not need to memorize this. Just think of it like a receipt that's adding up the cost of every single tiny operation. Each C is the cost of one little step, and the part next to it is how many times we have to do that step.
The really important thing to see is that big summation symbol, the sigma. That's where all the costs are just piling up like crazy.
So let's zoom in on the real culprit here. That summation symbol? It's just a fancy way of saying add 2 plus 3 plus 4 all the way up to n. And all those little additions, they pile on top of each other, and mathematically, they end up creating an equation with an n times n part in it. And that is exactly how a simple little loop spirals into a major performance problem. It creates what we call a quadratic relationship.
So after dragging us through all that math, the authors of our source material cheekily ask, wasn't that fun? Yeah, I know, it's a bit intense, but it gives us the final, undeniable piece of evidence we need about how this algorithm performs when it's having its worst day. All right, so we've heard the testimony, we've seen the evidence from both the best and the worst cases. Now it's time for the final verdict. What's the final judgment on insertion sort?
So here it is. In the worst case, the running time is quadratic, all thanks to that damning n-squared term. What this means is that the time it takes doesn't just double when the list doubles, it can quadruple, or even more. So, if linear growth is like taking a nice walk, quadratic growth is like trying to run up a giant sand dune. The bigger the list gets, the slower the algorithm crawls. And this chart right here, it says it all. Just look at it. The blue bar, that's the best case. It shows that nice, predictable, linear growth we talked about. Now, look at the red bar. That's the worst case. That is our sand dune. You see, for a small list, the difference isn't a big deal. But as the list gets larger, that red bar just explodes upwards. The time required becomes totally unsustainable.
So the final judgment is in. For small lists, insertion sort is actually a perfectly reasonable choice. It's simple, it's easy to write, and it can even be faster than some more complex algorithms. But for large lists, it is absolutely guilty of being inefficient. That quadratic growth we saw becomes a crippling performance bottleneck. A programmer might still use it for a small, specific job, for sure, but never for a heavy-duty, large-scale task.
So what's the big takeaway from this whole trial? Well, first, an algorithm's performance is not one size fits all. It hugely depends on the data you feed it. Second, that worst-case analysis, it gives us a crucial performance guarantee that we can count on when things get tough. And maybe most importantly, you don't need to be a math whiz to get this. You just need to understand the shape of the growth, the difference between a gentle slope and a steep, steep cliff.
And that's our verdict on insertion sort. You know, it's a great reminder that underneath every seamless app or website you use, there are countless little algorithms just like this one, working behind the scenes to turn chaos into order. And now you know that sometimes they're having a really easy day, and sometimes, well, they're fighting their own personal boss battle. The trial is adjourned.